The process of doing B2C business and B2B business, they are very different. I think my take is just choose one and focus on it. A very clear indicator is if you are not from that industry, it's a fresh, brand new industry to you, don't choose the B2B route. Because you have no network insight, you don't know who to call, you don't know who's the decision maker. After that, you have cash flow issue. There's a whole tons of problems over there.
Marketers, we like to have funnels because we have more control over it. There's an awareness, there's a consideration, and there's a purchase. But in reality, most of the time, it moves like a spaghetti, right? Like maybe they see the ad that has an offer, they ignore it, then they see some other ad, then they hear from their friend, and then eventually they buy. But as marketers, why we like it is because then we have more control over it, and we can also know, okay, this is how we can tackle the problem.
Welcome to TFC Business Show Live, CNY special together in partnership with WorldFirst. Can we give everybody a round of applause? Woo! Yeah, it's fun. It's the start of the year. I think a lot of the tauques here are very interested to try to update their business, refine their funnels, or even say like the funnel is broken. So
the funnel doesn't exist.
The funnel doesn't exist, right?
Yeah.
So we're trying to share with a lot of people laughing because
they know it doesn't exist.
They know, right? So the who's who of the industry is all here. So Wei Tian from Presto Dry Cleaners, right? I think they're the biggest dry cleaners in town.
It's
right?
like, why you call me out?
Why you call him? Because he's laughing, he knows, right?
Who else you see in front?
Yeah. We have the Pink Share franchise guys here, right? Andrew from OUE Restaurants. So a lot of the who's who are all here, so you can get to connect with all of them. I think everybody is here because they all struggle with some sort of a marketing update lah. Right, so that's why we are here with our astute panel to understand, what is the next frontier, what is this playground. So yes, Justin, take us off.
Before that, I need to introduce myself to all of you, right? Because I'm quite new to the show. I'm Judson. I am co-host. He always insists that I'm the host, but I'm only the co-host, yeah.
Because I want to retire, right? That's my other show. The whole thing is about retirement.
He will never retire if I'm here. Okay?
Yes.
So, I'm also a marketer in practice. So when he approached us to do this whole thing, I'm like, okay, let's just do marketing, right? Because a lot of SMEs have their marketing little pain points. And so the first thing I don't believe in is that there is no such thing as a funnel. Because, all of you, when you do your businesses, you would have known that when you run your ads, right, your customers don't immediately come. Right or not? Sometimes they will look at your ads. See, not here.
I see a lot.
Sometimes they will look at your ads, click on your ads, and then they will never return. Sometimes they will click on your website and then try a bit, hang around in your shop front for 6 months, and then they don't buy anything. How come? Why is it like that? Because there's no such thing as funnel. There's no such thing as awareness, consideration, blah, blah, blah. No such thing. Everything is very messy. That's why we call it playground.
You just shot down all the big six agencies.
Sorry.
Okay.
But we have an agency owner here who has seen so many different playgrounds. But so enough about me, right? Today we have Jake, co-founder of ErgoTune.
Yeah.
Hi everybody.
Yeah, I think they are in recent times one of the biggest exit in
Singapore.
D2C consumer brand.
Yeah. And then we have Marcus.
Hi guys, good to meet you.
Who is who runs an agency, digital ad agency for 17 years with how many clients? 500 plus clients so far, right?
Over the years, more than 500.
Who has not gotten a single award and only cares about performance.
Who doesn't care about
That's what we talked about, yes.
And
I see a lot of giggles. I know what you're thinking.
And then we have Caleb, who runs a AI agency and also runs an AI startup, who cares a lot about product management, the data behind your consumer, and how you can monetize them. That's why I got him here. Caleb.
All right. Hi everyone. Nice to meet you.
Don't be shy, yeah. Okay, everybody here is all here to make friends. By the way, today is the actual New Year. The New Year is not February 17th. The actual New Year is always on February the 4th. That's why I think WorldFirst has it here. Yeah, today is the actual New Year.
That's cool.
It never changes. So, why we got our three guests here is because they have been there, done that. Jake started his business with $500 and then exited with 8 figures. Marcus, as I said, has 500 clients, and Caleb understands how you monetize and everything. So, to set the ground here today, I want to introduce this imagery of playground. All right, because the traditional funnel is always people are aware of you first and then blah, 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 blah. But actually, if you go and flip things around and you think of your whole product as a playground, The gate itself is the brand awareness. Then when people step into the playground, you have different rides, right? You have sometimes the merry-go-round, you have the monkey bar, you have the slides, and then that's where the messiness comes in. Some people don't like monkey bars. Some people will go for the slides. Some people go for merry-go-round. And each of these things are specific things you do in marketing that people will love. So for example, right, if you get influencers, is an influencer engagement kind of thing a merry-go-round thing, or is it a slide? Right? And it differs from business to business. And so here we're trying to unpack with an actual business case, with an agency, and with a product guy here. So first things first, right? I want to ask Marcus here, right? 500 plus clients, B2B, B2C, right? Does the funnel really exist to you or not?
Not really. So is my mic picking up?
Yeah. It would be funnier if you say it exists.
Yeah.
You should say it doesn't exist. Yeah?
Collapse, right? Yes.
But I think in the real answer is that marketers, we like to have funnels because we have more control over it. You know, like what you were talking about earlier, there's an awareness, there's a consideration, and there's a purchase. But in reality, your customer journey is more like, it's not linear. It's not like they are aware, then they consider, then they buy. Most of the time, it moves like a spaghetti, right? Like maybe they see the ad that has an offer, they ignore it, then they see some other ad, then they hear from their friend, and then eventually they buy. So no, I think to answer your question, the real answer is that it doesn't really exist. Real marketing journey is more like a spaghetti where it's all over. But as marketers, why we like it is because then we have more control over it, and we can also, like, you can have that kind of discussion a bit clearer. Like, we want to have this message for awareness for this market. You want to have this other message for consideration, because it's more middle of the funnel where they are aware, just that they don't buy. Why? And then we know, okay, this is how we can tackle the problem. But the reality is that when it comes to tracking and seeing success from your marketing, you shouldn't look at it from a funnel standpoint. You should look at it really more like, okay, what in general has worked based on the data that you get. And the word work is also work for what? Like work for people seeing your ads, or work for people coming to your store or buying your products. So yeah.
Yeah, so this is where I want to go over to Jake, right? When you first started ErgoTune, what was your marketing plan like with $500?
Was there a marketing plan?
To be honest, we didn't come up with a plan, right? So I think the background story was that me and my founders, we were all fresh grads.
Right, okay.
Right? We have no industry experience at all. So whatever we see on the internet, we see what people are talking about, then we try it on ourselves. There was no marketing plan, but I mean, picking up the point on the different funnels and also on the different stages of funnels, like awareness, consideration, purchase, right? Initially, we bought into that story as well, right? Because that's what I learned in NTU, right? That's the marketing playbook that shared to me from my prof, right? But the funny story was, okay, me and my founders know that we need to gain awareness first. Yeah. So the first thing that we did was we created a quiz. A quiz. The quiz title was why you should buy an ergonomic chair. Right? Okay. So inside the quiz,
you mean people
like,
click into those quizzes?
Yeah. Hey, not bad, okay?
It's a thing, you know.
It's really.
Yeah.
I only click into the what Pokemon are you type quiz. I don't know.
You reveals your age, bro.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yes.
Okay. So the quiz, we sort of created a quiz. So we think that it's so personalized, right? So we will capture the unmet needs, and people will realize that, they need an ergonomic chair for their health, right? So we push the quiz on our website, and we direct traffic from Facebook, from Instagram. Click-through rate, completion rate was awesome. 60%.
Oh, that's amazing.
Right?
As in 60% of the people who landed on the quiz completed the quiz.
Precisely.
Okay.
But the funny story was, after that, we say, the click-through rate, the completion rate was 60%. But then when we take a deeper dive into what's the purchase rate, less than 5%.
Is it because you're expensive?
No. But we were like, suddenly that we asked ourselves, like, why is it happening? Right? So we dive deeper into it from people who actually purchased but didn't complete the quiz. So they were telling us that, actually, I saw your ads on Instagram, an influencer was promoting it. I suddenly felt that I have a need to buy it also. right? Because it looks professional, it looks nice, it looks classy, right? Then I look at my chair in my office, in my home office, it looks so ugly. Then I suddenly wanted to buy it. So what we realize over here is that actually consumers doesn't move through the different stages of the funnel, right? And a sudden pop-up in Instagram that tells like an influencer showing a product review or a simple recommendation from their friends and family actually helps a lot more, right? So we were like messing up with, we were getting so obsessed, like we have to settle the awareness stage, doing a personalized quiz so that we can get them to realize that they have all these needs, right? Then they will consider us, right? So I think all these are bullshit.
Wait, so just so I push that, right? Essentially, for most entrepreneurs, marketers, you kind of think of like, okay, you now have a pool of people in this list. Let's engineer them to move further down the list, right? And then you do like promotional coupons, you send it out to them or something. That's kind of how I think that's how most people think about it. And you guys tried that. It didn't work as well as
You mean
compared
for
to
promotional?
So I want to understand, right? Because is it a situation where you try promotional tactics to move them further down the funnel from awareness to closing? It didn't really work. But then when you did like a social media campaign on the side, which is this whole concept of the playground, right? Then ended up convincing the original audience without really needing to activate them.
I think promotional like discount code and promo codes, right, have a different use case, right? Especially we'll definitely see an uptick in 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5 sales. Definitely. Right? And the reason for that is because if you are going to buy an ergonomic chair or any kind of like one-time purchase, is that if you suddenly see a promo code and it's time-based, right? You'll rush into it, you have the higher urgency to buy it, right? But then to be honest, we are repeating that campaign month on month also, right? I mean, to be honest, you go to any other companies in Singapore, they are doing it on a month-on-month basis in terms of promotions and discount codes, right? But then we realize that actually a lot of consumers will come back. Like once they purchase the chair, they wouldn't visit my website a year later. So they wouldn't even realize that we are doing this on a month-to-month basis. So
But isn't
all
that
these
an
promotional
ergonomic chair
coupon codes,
problem? I don't need 3 chairs, right?
yeah, precisely, right?
Okay, so
it
with
still
that,
works. It still works.
Okay. So it doesn't overwhelm the consumer
Precisely.
by virtue that people buy and then that's pretty much it, right? It's not like a recurring
Precisely.
like you sell facial cream, sell dots, all those kind of. You don't know what I'm talking about.
Even
right?
for those, they do it
Yeah.
but consumers don't really realize it because I don't spend my entire day looking at your promotional campaigns.
Okay. So that's a fallacy broken.
Yeah, precisely.
Because sometimes you feel like you're drowning the consumer too much.
No, I think what he's saying is that what he's also trying, in summary, it is also to design around the natural consumer behavior, right? Because you started off with Facebook thinking that would drive a lot of purchase conversion, and then along the way you found out that actually many of your consumers respond well to influencer. So actually there is some shape and form in terms of in your industry and specific to your business, your natural consumer behavior somehow fluctuates between Facebook and influencer, something like that.
Yes, you're right.
And in between industry and industry, it changes all the time, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. So closing the sale is very important, and I think a lot of SMEs, once you close the sale, right, it's like a kid goes into your playground and then takes a slide and then enjoys himself or herself and then exits. But the point is that you want the kid to come back again and again, week after week. And I think when it comes to capturing this kind of consumer data, might not be that strong in terms of what we are trying to do here. So I want to go over to Caleb, right? In terms of based on your experience in working with different enterprises and different startups and also in SMEs, right? How would you build a easy to use kind of data capture process whereby when people come in and make a purchase already, then what do you do to them? With them?
Yeah, so I love the word that Judson uses, right? Is to get players inside your playground. So for context, I am an agentic AI startup founder, and these are all the marketing experts. My specialty comes in trying to help to make your product sell itself, right? I mean, all of us here, we all know that the cost of acquiring a new customer it's always way more expensive than trying to upsell an existing customer. So I want to cover a couple of topics. First of which is, as a product guy myself, right? And once the marketers have sent all of the traffic over, converted, they actually start to become customers. They start the buyer journey. Your first step is onboarding, right? Did the customer get the product that was sold to them, right? Was what you advertise, what they got as well? Because I think returns and cancellations, refunds are a very, very big deal in e-commerce. And I think market average is what, 10 to 15 to 20% of the purchases end up becoming returns. So you want to drive that percentage down as much as possible. And also at the same time, right, you want to make your onboarding journey, unboxing or so on and so forth, right, such a joyous experience that the buyer is so happy once that product arrives at their doorstep. Now that's the first part. The second part I wanted to share as well is about retention and trying to make, I think in the modern day, right, e-commerce businesses have to turn their buyers into promoters as well, into people, walking testimonials, right? People who will give your product a very good review. And at the same time, you can try this out as well. I think a lot of software SaaS businesses in the US, they are doing this already, which is to call up happy customers and form a community with them, right? They add them into, in tech, we use Discord channel or Slack channel, but you could do the same with a WhatsApp channel, right? Basically turn every of your new buyer into a promoter inside a channel such that you can call them up anytime. And I think very important in the age of AI as well, where there's so much content, authenticity is very important. So you have to get your happy buyers, right, to create user-generated content about your products. Let's say if you sell an air fryer, right? You add all your hardcore buyers into a WhatsApp group chat, and then you organize a cook-off tournament, right? Get them out, share their recipes, make them film themselves so that you can have all of these free content, right? Because we all run marketing teams. We know there's limited budget. You cannot produce all content yourself. Who are the best people who can give you high quality content? Is your happy customers. So I think retention I want to cover, and then finally, of course, try to upsell, right? Build an ecosystem around your products. What are complementary things? If you sold a charity, can you sell the speakers next? Can you sell the tables? Which is exactly what GoTune has done, right? You sell the standing tables and all. So you try to. People buy because of the vision of themselves, right? Like they perceive themselves to be this kind of persona. So if you already have the kind of cool chair, your next step is I need to fit my persona, right? Is to have a cool table, is to have cool speakers, and there you go. That sums up the playground concept, right? They are all now very engaged, activated community members of your brand, right? Rather than a one-time sale with a discount, it's great, you close them. But yeah, you got to think about how you continue to keep them and double and triple, right? Their cart size. So that's my take on that.
Sorry, I very suan siao, but I think a lot of the tauques, right, they've heard every element of that in different forums, and how to grow the ticket size, how to drive your ROI and all that bit, right? Like people have heard it, and it's cannot say it's common, but it's a talk of the town. Anybody that's a worthy entrepreneur knows these things, right? So and we run the whole machine, right? We got the website, we got the conversion rate downwards, we got the email list pusher, we got the podcast back end, we got the community, all the buzzwords that people do, right? I have the whole bit.
This event is a community.
Yeah,
kind
exactly.
Of like
so I have the whole bit, and I am very clear on like, where is the marginal upside? Where is the cost and all that bits, right? Because I think for a lot of people, it's just all about, okay, if I'm going to invest more in this, where is the parts that, maybe open question to you guys, like where are the parts that is like easy to tap, that you observe, that you think like most entrepreneurs in the market today are not doing? Highest ROI, easy to do things, you must do immediately. Yeah. Any
I can
thoughts?
answer that question first. So you're asking like, what's the magic bullet to...
Hey, don't
to-
simplify my question, right?
In a way, that's what you're
magic
asking, right?
bullets, like give me a few, okay, yes.
So I think one point I want to make, working with different companies, helping them out with their marketing play over the years, is that the biggest mistake that I see, and sometimes as agency we make the mistake of doing that for our clients as well, is that we say we want to try 2 or 3 different things at once. Which is a big mistake when you think about doing marketing, because when you are running an SMB, you don't have a lot of flexibility and margin of error to play around with. It's go time, and you need to think short term in terms of results. The problem with sometimes working with a lot of marketers is that you cannot just think short term, you got to think longer term. But from the commercial standpoint, you want to be able to see some short-term result. So both sides has valid points also, right? Like marketing, sometimes you got to think about, okay, maybe for what I'm building here, I need a great brand for people to trust me, especially if I'm in finance, for example. And if I run a fintech platform, I cannot ask you like, hey, put your $1,000 or $5,000 and invest with me when you don't even know anything about me in the first place. And I could be the next crypto platform that just taupi and run away with all your deposits in there. So in some cases, that trust needs to be built, and that awareness you have to invest in that. But if you talk about magic bullets, I would say it's not about looking at a few magic bullets and saying, okay, I want to do so many things in marketing. It's more like, as SME Taukes, I would strongly suggest to invest the time to at least learn the pros and cons of each channel of what you're doing. Because there's SEO, there's performance marketing, that you can buy out-of-home media ads also, which actually is quite inexpensive nowadays.
It's gotten cheaper. So cheap that they asked me to buy.
Yeah, see?
So it's gotten a lot cheaper, really.
Who asked you to buy?
MRT ads are very cheap these days.
Yeah.
Because there are
you
too
can
many
buy
MRT stops. Only Raffles Bay, Tanjong Pagar, City Hall is expensive. Everywhere else you can buy. Very
then
cheap.
you can buy the one with more affluent areas like your Marine Parade or Tanjong Katong. The Brown Line one is great. So what I'm saying is that you need to invest the time to learn the pros and cons of each platform. I'm not asking you to spend like a year, but at least spend 2-3 hours just listening to different people with different points of view. Then you make the assessment yourself, right? For the products and solutions you're offering, the market that you're going to, and the channels or different marketing tactics that you can deploy. Which one fits your thing best? Because you can also do, outreach as well. If you're running a B2B company, I can just deploy outreach and target 200,000 people over the next 6 months. I just deploy outreach, just whack them like SPH, just whack on it, just mass send. Sorry, I don't mean to offend anybody from SPH here. But as long as you know the pros and cons, then you just invest in that one thing that you feel has more pros than cons. Then you see if it turns out that you were wrong, then 3 months, it's not too late to make a pivot after all.
Do you have an example? I mean, you work with so many people.
Let me think.
Okay, while
I
you're
have
thinking,
many examples.
while you're thinking, yes, Jake, you're a live example. So give us a bit, especially for the audience that have not heard your episode. I think it just went out today. Yeah, it just went out today. So after this, I expect 1,000 downloads. So 1,000? Share with 10 friends, okay? But yes, before that happens,
I think I speak from the perspective of a lot of SME owners and Taukes here, right? Is that we have limited time, limited financial resources, not even have enough manpower to do all at one go.
Don't have time to test here and test there.
I don't have the capability and time. Every day I'm so caught up with operations, right? So I don't have the time to test. But then I think throughout the business of ErgoTune, what we have learned is just do one channel, be good at one, dominate it, be the very best, make the very best out of it before you move to the next one. Right? So I think back in the days in ErgoTune, we tried many different things, right? Because suddenly I go to this event, this guy tell me, hey, you try this, quite good. I have results. Right?
Is it like one of these events?
Yeah, maybe. So be careful of who you are speaking to later. Right? So I go to another event, that guy tell me, hey, I did B2B partnerships, right? I put my furnitures in some stores, right? So that my customers can go there and buy it easier, right? You should try it also. So we're like, we were naive also, right? So we say, okay, we all try the next week, right? So we were like we're running a headless chicken, right? On one end, we're focusing on Google ads. The other end, we are doing Meta ads, Instagram ads. The other end, we are focusing on influencers. We even have a team that does B2B partnerships, which is that we are going to all the different chiropractors clinics, telling them that, hey, can you put my chair there, right? Then if your customers comes in, right, your patients comes in, help me to push a bit, right? So we are running all over the places, right? But we realized that actually Meta ads gave us the highest ROI.
So from you founding ErgoTune to you realizing that this is that channel that worked, how long did it take?
I think within a year.
1 year.
It took some time also. But it's like suddenly I woke up in the morning. We woke up in the morning where I slept in the face like, why am I running like a headless chicken? Why am I pursuing so many different channels? Right? Why not we just see like which one is giving us the highest ROI? We ignore everything else. We just focus on that, right? And it appeared to be true, right? That we managed to bootstrap all the way, no angel investors, no VC capital. We do ErgoTune with just 1,500 in capital, right? We grew from 0 all the way to 20 million in yearly revenue in just 4 years because we focus on one channel. Yeah.
And what's your sale price? I cannot say.
You asked how many times?
Must keep asking. One day someone will crack one.
No, I even see businesses, right, that does affiliate marketing only and grew it up to a 9-figure business.
Who?
I couldn't say the name.
A lot of fintech started with that.
Precisely.
Yes.
Yeah. So leveraging that point, right, Marcus?
Yes.
Yeah, you done your homework already. Your mental homework.
I've done my thinking.
So I want to rephrase the question, right? Everybody here, no time, no time to test here, test that.
Yeah.
If you have only $5,000 to $10,000,
Yeah.
right, and just go and do marketing, what would you recommend us to do?
Most companies, I would say, look at performance marketing, so paid ads, if you have not already done so. If you've done it and it didn't succeed, then I would look into, let's say, a B2B company, the one that is really yielding the best result right now, best result in terms of like highest yielding effort to reward ratio. Is using like AI, then you use like SDR to outreach. I know how you feel about that, Judson. You wrote LinkedIn posts that you're so against it. Using AI to reach out on the B2B front. So using like sending out emails and LinkedIn messages on your behalf as well. I think that's yielding the highest effort to reward ratio now. Now, of course, some people deploy it like badly, but I think that channel alone has been working out very well for us and many of our B2B clients. The second thing is creative, right? So performance marketing and creative, they go hand in hand. So how you run your ads, the type of like creatives you push out. I would say these are the two most, the things that move the needle the most are these two.
Okay.
Maybe I can share some. Yeah. So there I open my books. Tell you
Yeah,
what works.
say.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
look
because
at
this
that.
will affect my client conversion rate.
Yes,
But
sure.
I tell everybody
Yeah.
how it works. So because we run the whole gamut, right? So if you're super into this whole like content marketing, because that's like paid marketing, right? If you're very into content marketing, I think there are a few things that work really well to date, still works very well, which is like written social media content converts to long form articles. Very well. So the click-through rate is very high. Okay, so if you write a carousel post on Instagram or whichever, from there, click into a long-form article is very high. Then it falls into an email funnel at the bottom, right? Put something, and then you can reverse target later, right? So that conversion is very high. Short video conversion is actually not as good from a click perspective because people are really in that kind of like just consume part, especially when you expect short video consumers to change to another medium, right? Like listen to the podcast or, follow on socials or read an article. That is abysmal, right? But I think some of the YouTubers are doing a great job when they run like a whole like 30-minute video thing and then they cut it out and then they kind of hook you. Want to know what I bought? Blah, blah, blah. Yes. But that would mean that the kind of production cost goes up a lot when you try to do that bit. Yeah, and audio retention is the highest till date, right? So podcast audio retention is the highest. On average, if you see a video podcast on the internet, that's 50% as compared to an audio-only podcast, right? So yeah, I gave you everything.
No lah.
Yeah, in the future, I tell the client, I say, hey, I thought I heard your podcast that day you say this one, then why you sell me this?
No, but amongst all of these, right, you put in all this effort into your channels. Ultimately, actually, there's one thing my gut says that a lot of people don't pay attention to is how a customer navigates throughout your website. Do you pay attention to that or not?
Yeah, we got put some effort, but limited
Yeah.
manpower.
So if I were to ask Caleb
That's
again,
him saying you need to improve your website,
Yes.
bro. Anyway. Yes.
if I would ask Caleb again, very simply and briefly, right? Because all of us here have websites and we put in money, be it $5,000, $10,000 on YouTube, whatever, to drive people to the website to understand your product. The moment a person lands on your website, your attention span should deepen and look at how a person navigates the website. So Caleb, what are some of the best practices in terms of tracking or in terms of encouraging a customer to stay on the website as long as possible and don't leave? Because once a person leaves, that's it, really, they won't come back.
Okay, before I deep dive into that, right, if I go into very specifics, I'm going to name some tools and companies, right?
Don't name
It's
tools,
okay.
just
I will
list
send them the
first.
invoice later. Don't worry. You just say first.
Yeah,
Yes.
because
Yeah.
I'm not paid or sponsored, but I want to share
Of course,
these
yes,
tools
please
that
share.
I
That's
I
what
use
everyone
in
wants
my,
to know. Yes.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So first things first, right, is that building websites, landing pages, even e-commerce stores nowadays, right, is ridiculously cheap if you use the AI tool builders, right, AI website builders. A couple of the tools that my team uses, right, and you can build beautiful websites, right, like as though a designer with 10 years of experience crafted them. So not just the beauty, but also as what Justin was saying, the utility of this website. Now, I'll give you an example, right? You want to look out for intent signals, very strong intent signals. So if you have an e-commerce store and you see this website visitor, they already clicked 3 or 4 products, and then they even click, let's say, a reviews page on your website. Now, nobody goes around reading reviews for fun, right? Like you probably think that, yeah, there's something there, you're already interested in this, and now you're looking at the reviews, and then you look at different products in the catalog. But why are you not adding an item to the cart, right? This probably means maybe the pricing is something maybe too expensive. So then you offer very quickly a last-ditch discount code, right? Like, hey, see you have been looking at the page for 10 minutes. Do you want this voucher, right? And then you see if that works. So to build this kind of customizable websites, it used to be very expensive in the past. You hire a web design agency, but nowadays you can use tools. There's one called V0, it's like just called V0 AI, you search for it. And there's one called Lovable as well, lovable.com, I think. And these are incredible tools, and you can already generate a first version of a website, right, with the free kind of free credits that they offer to you. And afterwards, you start to configure it more and more. And you can even add in actual features. So you can add like a reviews page. You tell the AI, this is how I want the reviews page to work. I want also a discount to pop up. I want to create, on the same landing page, I want to create a content hub where you got your how-to articles, support articles, how to use this product, and what other people are saying about this product, right? You can build all of these with Lovable and V0 within 30 minutes. And the additional credits that they will charge to you, I cannot confirm the exact number, but so far, at least for us, right, we pay at most another $50 to $100. So it's a lot more affordable than having even a full-time web developer or web designer. And so these are the 2 points that I covered. The third one would be the actual content, right, which Reggie and the rest of the panel were talking about. Writing blog articles nowadays with AI is, of course, very effective. We use one called Write Sonic, and you can write a lot, like 20, 30 articles very quickly. And my favorite topic, right, is also to help the potential buyer to do comparison, right? I would say like, hey, okay, if I sell this air fryer, why is our air fryer better? I'll choose 3 or 4 air fryers, right? And then just compare them, use AI to write this article. And AI is really good. It will tell you, it will actually do the research for you. You will go and scan other people's reviews, right? And then summarize it and then say, okay, this air fryer A is good at 1, 2, 3. Air fryer B is good at, and then finally you say, why is your air fryer, not say the best, but why is it the best for you, right? Most suitable for you. So you don't try to sell so blatantly, but just educate your website visitor. Now that's the written one. And then now for video, there's another one that we use called GenSpark AI. So you can film, let's say, a very long session. I do a workshop, right, of 1 or 2 hours. GenSpark AI actually helps you to clip it to very, very short. You can tell it, I want 60 seconds. And you tell GenSpark AI, go and find a moment where our customer was very happy on the panel and they were so happy and excited about the experience of using our product. GenSpark will actually clip 60 seconds for it, and then you just do your final edits. You can tell the AI to add the subtitles as well, so that now you can post on TikTok all over. You can even make them do a voiceover. And so suddenly you are able to...
Actually, my question that since you talk about usage of Gen AI, right?
Yes.
How has the output been like for you?
The output, honestly, over time, right, you can see dramatic improvements. Like 1 year ago, if you use the same products that I mentioned, you'll be like, oh, still have to edit and curate a lot of things. But now, fast forward 1 year later, man, the improvements are like dramatic.
1 year ago, I was telling my guys, use this, AI stuff. Right? They're like, oh, it's not good enough. 1 year later, it's like, why you not AIing it? It's like everything you see on our carousel, it's all AI.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane.
I mean, we prompt it, we do the research, but there's a lot of designing element. It has gotten so much better. Even some of the other AI tools, they learn over time. So like internally, there's a lot of deployment. And if you don't do it, then it's all cost, right? At the end, you want to compete, to stay relevant on that front.
I can understand
but
why.
I love the false dichotomy of comparing other products.
Why Marcus asked that question? Because the more Caleb went into all these AI tools, and I guess the question in Marcus' head is like, oh shit.
我要没有工作了.
Yeah, who's going to find the agency? Nobody needs an agency anymore.
What is my value proposition?
No, I'm not worried about that. I still remain AI skeptic. My team uses AI a lot for like making videos, articles and so on. But I always have the belief that today I think we are all smart enough to know whether a piece of content is made by AI. And typically if it's made by AI, people like to brag they make content with AI, but people hate consuming content generated by AI. Like, I don't know how many times you see on TikTok or IG, if you see it's a content made by AI, you just scroll to the next one, I'm not.
The voice is always the same voice on YouTube Shorts, right? And Instagram Reels. The voiceover always is the same person.
A certain degree is okay, it's like...
No. On the voice thing, right, I give you a little thing on this. So you know this company called 11 Labs?
11 Labs.
Yeah.
Right, so my team, because we do like hundreds of podcasts, right, has fed the 11 Lab all my voice. So every ad that you hear on TFC is AI generated. So I'm shopping, I'm not sitting in the studio to say like blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Yeah, so they have fed my whole stack. Of course, you have to do 500 podcasts, right? You know, right? But you need enough to feed the AI, and then the AI will study the nuance of it, and it has improved over time.
That's true. Yeah.
Right. So, but you can't run a whole like 15-minute podcast with that. But you can run a like 1 minute ad insertion on that front, right? And then people will be like, oh, okay, and then they just kind of move on. They think, Reggie's just high, something like that, right? So that's the part that I think you got to use it smartly.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's the bit.
Yeah. Exactly my point. I feel AI is kind of overhyped
for
to a certain
sure.
degree.
Especially when you're a practitioner, you will know like what can, what cannot, right?
Exactly.
So bottom line is still need agency. Marcus still has it. So.
still got business.
Actually, I think agencies, right, in today's world will be even, how can I say this? The agencies that adapt and apply the most tools the fastest, right, it will become a narrower and narrower pyramid, right? The strongest ones will get the most business, and those that are average, right, that used to have business will now lose all their business because you cannot do it faster, better, cheaper there's someone who already mastered all of these tools and as well, right, is an architect, right, in terms of the strategy, right, and the creative soul as well, right. It's really important. So, for example, right, like I was saying just now, even all of this use lovable, right. You can turn a business like aircon, you sell aircon, right, can transform your whole website into like an Apple store, you know. That level of quality, the aircon come out, then got outer space at the back and like everything AI generated with your product. So it's you just have to join this battle, right?
It is quite crazy.
So bottom line, speed to market is very fast because of all these AI tools. If you want some human touch, right, and you don't have big enough team, then can outsource to you know who.
enough marketing.
Already.
Yes,
but
yes.
I only have two more categories to touch upon, right? One is because because amongst
I want to give more
us,
time for questions.
Yes. Because amongst us, we have B2B and B2C.
Okay.
Different types of businesses.
One last one, yes.
Yeah. So in terms of, because you also done B2B and B2C before, right? So I want to understand, right? How does the playbook change when it comes to B2B and B2C?
Okay, so I think it changes a lot, right? So I think we asked this question ourselves. Even though I'm selling office chair, right? The natural inclination of an office chair is that I need to sell to B2B. So in the end, thankfully that we chose the B2C route, right? Which is we are targeting consumer first. So our natural thinking is that if we sell it to B2C, all of you guys over here, business owners, leaders in your company, love my chair, you'll go back to your company and tell your boss that we want this chair also, right? And then you'll send a bulk order to us and we'll fulfill it. Right? So we had this thinking initially. So thankfully we went through that cycle. But then as our business grow bigger, trying to tackle B2B is something that we have to do also. Right? So as we go into the B2B market, what we realized was the sales cycle was so long.
Yeah.
Right? And then it impacts my cash flow a lot also. Right? Because I have to tender for a project. Before I tender for a project, I must prove to them that I have enough inventory to fulfill it. After that, right, even I've delivered it everything into the office, right, it takes 3 months for them to pay, right? So I'll say that the process of like doing B2C business and B2B business, they are very different. So I think my take is just choose one and focus on it. Really.
I mean, fair, right? He chose one and sold the company, right? Yeah.
And a very clear indicator, it's if you are not from that industry, it's a fresh, brand new industry to you, right? Don't choose the B2B route, right? Because you have no network insight, you don't know who to call, right? You don't know who's the decision maker. After that, you have cash flow issue. There's a whole tons of problems over there. But of course, if you are an experienced veteran within a certain industry, you decided to start your own business within the same industry, I mean, go for it. Yeah. You'll find it a lot easier because you know who to call, you know who to tackle.
Yeah. It's true. Like when I do the podcast, when I first started, I always complain I don't do already. But the more I do, the more people I know, the easier it gets, you know. So that's the whole B2B business. So
every time I see you, you say you want to retire.
I know, every time I say I want to retire, which is true lah, right?
Yeah.
Yes, this will be the last. And I was like, any other thoughts, B2B, B2C? If not, I want to open
I think
the
for
floor.
B2B, B2C, the competition is always a lot higher. B2B, from a marketing standpoint, there are always things that you can do that maybe isn't very scalable, but it's highly profitable. So for example, like one of our clients, also in the office furniture business, the B2C route was like never a play that they wanted to do. But B2B, you can go to websites and you go scrape all the architect and designers, interior designers, so you can go and scrape all their contact details. And then, like nobody will want to do this kind of thing, right? Because, in a traditional world, you have to hire an intern, you have to tell the intern, these are the websites to go for, go and find the contact person working there, go and reach out, go and research on them, then you reach out. So it takes a lot of time to do so. But from a marketing standpoint, it gives you an edge over competitors, in my point of view, because nobody is doing it. And by the sheer fact of you reaching out, if you reach out at the right time with the right message, you get incredible high amount of response rate from there.
Fair.
Yeah.
Caleb, anything?
Yeah, no, just to wrap up a little bit on this topic, right? It's that all of us business owners, we know, right? If B2C, you're catching small fishes. Now, at some point, right, you catch so many small fishes, it's going to get harder and harder to catch more small fishes. And once you reach enough scale, you got your B2C engine working very well, your cash flow is good, a couple of low millions and all that. Then I think the next step for those that are considering strategy, right, is you got to go whale hunting, right? You have to go find the big ones. You have to go for enterprise. Let's say even in let's say banking or what, right? You have so many small customers. In the end, you still have to go after the ultra high net worth because one will be enough to cover your deals for 1 year already, right? So, but as what Jake said, right, you really have to take care of your cash flow. You got to make sure your business goes on life as usual, right? While you are hunting for whales. Because as the word whales goes, right, there's not many whales. And to hunt a whale, you need a lot of resources. You need to form an entire team, right? Some division to go and attack just one client. So so like if you're Microsoft, right, Microsoft does the deals $10 million. You need solution architect. You need this and that. You need people who give technical people, then the sales people, and even the sales operations process, right? Invoicing them. It's not an easy thing. So like when I sold some software to NUS, the process to even become a vendor, right, is
It's a nightmare.
it really takes a lot of time. And then after you register as the vendor, that's just the beginning of the sales process. You have to send a couple more documents, send due diligence, send your Accra BIS file back and forth. And then finally, that's when you can send the purchase order. The invoice, right? And then they will confirm the purchase. And then you wait another, as what Jake said, 3 months, 4 months, and finally the cash appears in your bank account. So it's actually great business. The good thing is NUS is not going to close down, right? So you don't have to be afraid that they won't pay you or they will run away or that the account will close. But it just takes a while to close them in the sales cycle, and it takes a while to get paid. And it's been great. Like business has been very consistent.
Yeah, I get it. But when you have too many whales, the whales also fight, that's a different story. That's another
if you
discussion.
have too many whales on your accounts, I think that's a fantastic problem to have.
No, there are other problems. Next time I tell you. Okay, says, can we give the panelists a round of applause? Thank you. Awesome. So that's it for the financial TFC business show. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week. I'm glad to do this with our friends from WorldFirst, and we'll see you at the next CNY Low. Hey, bye-bye.